Okay, we're back, and you guys probably heard lots of sounds of things being invited and joined, etc. So we're in the party now with Violet and puCK. Let me just show you. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yeah, so they're just doing videos as we speak. It took a couple minutes to get ready. Sorry for the downtime and the delays and the waiting. But we got a PvZ coming up with Violet versus puCK. Do me a favor, though, guys. If you haven't already done it, first off, I see several of you already have. So, love your faces. Do me a favor. Get on Twitter. Hit me up with a retweet. Hit me up. Color me with a like. I don't know how you want to phrase that. But also, shout out to Love. Oh, Love. Dude, am I going to see a BlizzCon again this year? He says, oh boy, 26 years. Kappa face. Thank you so much. 26 centuries! Oh my god, that's such a long time. Anyways, Violet keeps leaving the party. I'm not sure if he's having some issues or what's going on, but hopefully they'll get all things sorted soon, and we'll just get into this next game and not wait too long. A lot of you guys are going to be asking me, though, for sure, what's happening with Moss and Scarlet. More importantly, Rifkin, why are you not casting it? I believe Wardy is covering that one, and I don't want to bully around players and all this stuff, so I wouldn't really care. So he called for his dibs. I'm giving him for his dibs. Go check out Wardy's stream if you want to see Moss versus Scarlet. I think the Gauntlet is covering Neeb versus Foxer, and of course we're down here on the south side with Violet versus puCK. But make no mistake, my eyes are on that semifinals match. It's probably Masa versus Neeb in the top side, but if it's not, it'll be Scarlet versus Neeb. Either way, somebody versus Neeb is what's likely going to happen. And I plan to cast that one no matter what. So I didn't last time. Asking me to host. Come on, man. I gotta press all the buttons and I gotta host the games. Referee, please. Trying to get Violet invited to the party again. Alright, so I see puCK, or sorry, on Twitter I see Heart of Revenge is rooting for puCK. I see that Mr. Boris Makarov is making puCK puns. Is everyone just voting and cheering for puCK? Is that the plan for this one? Or we got some Violet love out there? What are you guys thinking? What are you guys feeling? Let me know what you guys think. Who's going to take it? But Frozen, Frost, New Gettysburg. It looks to be the map order. I don't know if I'm supposed to be making this or not. So I'm going to just try and see if I get in trouble for it. Maybe? Is referee hosting? Excellent. Nobody knows. I'll host because of mod. Okay, I've got leader, but now I can't host because puCK's in a game. Hold up, guys. Hey guys, need WCS mod. Just let me host, pretty please. Thank you to Rogan for the 7-month resub and all that. Alright, this is, I don't know why we're doing a party for this. This is just gonna cause like a headache. So we're gonna go WCS Game Heart official Blizzard mod for this. I'll invite the players. We'll get this party started. Invite to game. Invite to game. I lost the referee. I don't remember his name. Where'd puCK go? Invite to game. Then Hailstorm's in the wrong lobby. There we go. Nice. Alright. Let's get this party started. Everyone's ready! Woo! Just took forever to do. All right. Lupe! Lupe just new subbed hype! New sub alert, new sub alert. Everyone, I know it's 3 minutes later, but give Lupe some hearts or some claps in chat, would you please? And Rogan, by the way, said, keep up the great work with his 7-month resub. Thank you so much, dude. Sorry. I'm now being told to press a bunch of buttons I'm not normally used to pressing. What did we do wrong? Oh, wrong map. Hype! Hosted the wrong map. Alright, Frozen Temples first. Whoop. Awkward. Awkward. Although, my counterpoint would be, these guys should have totally noticed and just, you know, like, said something when we're in the wrong lobby, so I'm gonna say that it's not entirely my fault, and I don't know why I'm talking with a voice like this, but you know, whatever. Alright, Team Liquid guy, get in here. Everyone, get in here. My bad, fam. Oakley dokely. Now we kick it off. Violet versus puCK. PvZ on the correct map this time. Hard Revenge in chat says, look, Violet is one of my favorite players because he's swole as fuck. Holy shit, such an inspiration. Dude, I know, right? Like, I never really give a fuck about going to the gym. Then I see Violet at a live event, and I'm like, damn, I should really be trying. Oh my god. The guy is crazy. But okay, regardless of that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the KeSPA Cup North American Qualifiers. You're tuned into BaseTradeTV. Rifkin coming at you with the solo cast and spawning here on the bottom right side of the map. He is going to be Root Gaming's Orange Protoss player puCK. And to the north left, man, northwest side of the map, it's gonna be Violet. I done goofed already. It's all over. Now it's, of course, game one, best of 3. You guys know the deal. It's double elimination bracket, and of course, if you haven't seen the brackets yourself, I would highly recommend checking them out. Go to ! Brackets command, and I guess if you're watching this later on YouTube for the VOD, sorry that you guys don't enjoy the brackets and the other cool stuff you get for tuning in live, but consider tuning in live sometime. But just shout out to YouTube land because I brought it up for no reason. Hey, speaking of which, guys, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/BaseTradeTV. I'm crossing wires all over the place. If you're watching on Twitch, go to YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, come join us on Twitch. But for real, though, we would love to get that subscriber count up. So if you're not already subbed to our YouTube, do check it out. But at any rate, the terrible mishosting of the lobby aside, we are fully into the series. And I guess this is getting closer to the semifinals. We're not there yet. This is a round of 8 match for those who don't want to look up the brackets or can't look up the brackets. The winner of this will face what is most likely true, but Major stands as a competitor, and so does Panda Bear Me on the other portion of this bracket. So it's a little too soon to talk about who the winner of this will face. On the other side of the bracket, it would appear as if Scarlet's up 1-0 to Masa, so looking hopeful over there for perhaps a Scarlet versus Neeb semifinals. Although the way with the top half of the bracket's going, I really want to see Neeb versus Bales into versus Scarlet. That would be a lot of fun. But we'll see how things go. This could be a long series. This could be a short series. PvZ can sometimes just stall out and be boring, frankly. But the really fun ones have a lot of warp prisms, a lot of action, a lot of other good stuff. Violet gonna get a nice scout. I guess to talk more on Violet too, I know you guys are probably like interested in me talking about the builds, but look at the minimap, look at the production tab. You don't need me for that. Violet is on the cusp of getting into BlizzCon. When I say this, I really mean like on the cusp, as in he is so close to being out, but he's equally close to being in. He's currently tied with a laser in points, and unless they want to play a tiebreaker match ZVZ right before BlizzCon, his only chance is to get a little bit further and a few more WCS points through the KeSPA Cup than a laser. Same thing can be said about a laser. So while for somebody like puCK and some of these others, it's just a big tournament, they want to make a name for themselves, they want to get some money, it's a little bit more important for people like Violet. Does that mean he deserves it anymore? No. Your skill will determine what you deserve. And we'll see how that goes through with this. puCK's actually quite good. So we saw him play really well earlier today. We'll see if that was a PvP, I guess. We'll see if he can continue his dominance here versus Violet now. Although it is weird and funny to think about, like a year ago, 2 years ago rather, even, Violet was among the Koreans dominating the foreign scene and making people cry about Koreans coming to America for easy money. But Violet's been here for a while. He was living in that house with Polt for some time. Everyone just kind of making the way for themselves here in North America. Chat's asking, isn't puCK Canadian? No, puCK is absolutely, most definitely American. Although he's a sweetheart, so I can understand how you confuse that, because all Canadians are pretty awesome. And Hello Zergling dropping some fan knowledge in chat. Says puCK beat Violet the last time they actually played in a tournament, but, you know, hearts to Violet and all that. Yeah, Resonating Glaives, Protoss, just in general, things can be a little bit, like, tilting to play against this race. Then you pair it up with a player who's good, like puCK. I mean, look at this. You get the Overlord kill. That's going to be nice. Good start on this side. I think that's 2 Overlords dead. Yep. Resonating Glaives will finish up in just a moment. He may just simply walk across the map with the Adepts. You don't have anything close to a Warp Prism out to really bring these boys over quickly. But looks like he wants to set up a third instead. Now, this third might not be a super dedicated third. Again, if puCK goes across the map and he gets a lot of kills right now, that third base won't matter whether it finishes or not. It won't matter if probes are put into it, because he can just do a lot of economic damage with Adepts. They're so frustrating to follow around. But looks like with the Roaches intercepting them early, they won't get the free kills they were hoping for, but the Roaches spent a little bit too much time. puCK gonna have to cancel the transfer. No, he actually goes through with it! Oh no, I think he should have canceled that. That may have been a mistake, I don't know, but either way, gonna try and back away, cut around these Lings and get as much damage done before dying as he can. He'll clear out most of the Lings in the slowest fashion possible, but these Adepts are, make no mistake, absolutely dead. Second round gonna transfer him, but this is gonna be another mistake if he actually lets those go through. Oh, actually, if he had let those go through to the third, that might not have been so bad. But the army was ready to pounce on top of the natural, and that wasn't boding too well. And the biggest problem, the single most consistent issue we're seeing with all Protoss, whether they're Koreans, North Americans, hell, even if they're Terrans, doesn't matter. They give away so much in the early game, they don't have enough to fight the follow-up push. And I kind of fear that's what may have happened here already. puCK doesn't have force fields to gain him any favor. He's going to have a couple of overcharges, but just generally speaking, he's down half the army supply. The Lings get through. There's no pylon to wall that off. There's no depth warped in, no Zealot holding the line. Lings get on top of the probes. Oh, the side. Oh no, the Corsair Battles kill all the Adepts. No transfer going through whatsoever. 3 times the army supply now. Mothership Core can't be shot out of the sky, not without Corrosive Biles, but even then, might not matter. Move the Roaches and the Ravagers, sir! puCK just continuing to warp in units and buy himself as much time as possible. The problem is, like, what are you buying time to? I think he's banking on the Dark Shrine winning the game for him, or at least holding the defense. But he's lost so much economically, and he's about to lose more. Roaches and Ravagers on top of the probes. Lings on top of that Nexus could have killed it, but they're going to follow through and try and kill the Adepts. Not that many here. Gets us around. That's going to kill the rest of the army. But we finally have that Dark Shrine finishing up any second now, and puCK might... Oh, he just warped in with all the gateways. Now they're on cooldown. He can't even get a DT in if he wanted to. But he did buy time to get to the Dark Templar, so that means he might just have saved himself in this game. The Roaches and the Ravagers won't kill him. But of course, I say saved himself a bit tentatively. Violet made some interesting choices, one of which was to prioritize fighting the army rather than killing that third base. It's without a doubt in my mind the Lings fully surrounded would have killed that Nexus. 2 DTs coming across the map. Spore Crawlers are down. Violet's on a layer 2, so it won't be too difficult for him to get Overseers. And it looks like DTs won't get the counterattack that I think puCK was really banking on. But he did stay alive in this game. He kept himself back at home just fine, and he didn't lose too many workers. 7 workers went down, but he lost so much army for it. If Violet was following up with the Giant all-in, I actually think Violet would have just demolished puCK. And that looks to be what he might try and do here with all these Lings. But 2 Robos are being made. If those get time to produce Immortals, this will not look good. Doesn't matter whether it's Lings, whether it's Roaches. Immortals are proven just to be so freaking good. Everyone in chat debating the puCK dynamic. Yeah, puCK is the Canadian who's lived in America for a majority of his life, I believe. And then puCK is just straight up American through and through. I gotta tell you guys too, by the way, just on a side note, Hawk is like, I really like Hawk. I always thought he was a bit cocky, and until I met him in real life, I wasn't the biggest fan. But after spending just like a few minutes here and there at events with him, hanging out with him a little bit in Toronto while we lived there, absolutely stand-up fella. Milk and cookies! Just cooked us 17 months worth of cookies. I love you guys. Thank you very much, man. Love you too, bro. Looks like one adept will get away to tell the tale of that battle, but that's not a tale you want to tell anybody. Hey, so we got massacred. The end. +1 melee's done. These lings are going to be a little bit faster at killing buildings than they were before. Oh, I didn't realize one of these robots is out on the front. Why the... Oh, no, that's bad. Baneling's being made to deal with the adepts. He's not going to have speed for this, but he's going to have a hell of a lot of banelings, I'll tell you that much. The Immortal might prove to be a bit of an issue. There's not that many Ravagers this time around. It's mostly Roaches, but he just baited out all the overcharges out of puCK, so he doesn't have round 2 of those overcharges. Once those 30 seconds or whatever pass... Actually, how long is it? Yeah, oh, it's only 14 seconds. I thought it was way longer. Anyways, time irrelevant. He's got no more overcharges. The banelings wipe the floor with the adepts. Slow banelings at that. Gonna waddle their way through. No probe transfers this time. He's got to run away instead of running to safety. Banelings could very much kill these adepts if he wants. It looks like he'll just waste them. He doesn't mind. GG. Violet takes the first game in this best of 3. Very nicely done. I would say puCK played well around having no army supply though. That was like a 5-minute fight that should have been a 1-minute fight, if you know what I'm saying. Like, that was not a bad defense, but I think Frost is the second map since I had messed that up the first time. Let me check. Yeah, Frost is the second map, so we'll get that one going. WCS game hard. Oh, I hate creating lobbies, guys. The reason I hate making lobbies actually has everything to do with the invites being the bigger issue. When you invite people to lobbies, sometimes it like gets all lagged out and bugged. Like right now, I can't set the lobby because I'm inviting people. Do not like. I'm a Kelstorm referee. Cool beans. Alright, everyone's ready. Dang, but this has got a bit riding on it. It's a good start for somebody like Violet. Mean Willy Wally. Wrong race. Damn it, that wasn't my fault this time. This was a player fault. I think I can hit play again though and it should work. Look at me. I'm Zombie Grub. I'm hosting lobbies like a boss. What can I say? My hair's blonde and I got a cat. I'm Zombie Grub. That's probably exactly what she sounds like too. 10 out of 10. Alright, just gotta wait for Violet to join us up in the lobby. Just waiting on Violet to let me know he's ready, then we'll get going. Races. Nailed it. Whew. Alright, game number... Nope. Hide that. Move that. There we go. Game number 2 in this best of 3 for the KeSPA Cup North American Qualifiers. Spawning here on the bottom right side is going to be the yellow Zerg player lagging out. No, come on. Who is it? Wait, did he not lag out? I just assumed he was gonna lag out. Okay. Okay, come on, we can do this. Third time's the charm, right? So some of you saw a commercial break. Big love and thank you for watching that. I kind of wrote in chat, but we didn't do like a proper commercial break here on stream because we did have to remake this like 4 fucking times or something. I don't know. Players are awesome. Everything's great. Let's just get this going for the like 3rd time. Okay. Let's hope. Oh shit, I'm your referee. There you go. Let's hope this works. No more remaking! No more remaking! You know why there's no more remaking? 'Cause time is money, friend! What? That's my best attempt at a goblin. Never again. Oh god. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, I'm like tentative to do intros because we'll probably have to remake it again. But assuming we don't have to, maybe we're actually in the game. App number 2 for the KeSPA Cup North American Qualifiers. It's currently the round of 8, spawning in the bottom left side. He's winning 1-0 currently. It's Violet, playing for Team Envious. And in the upper right, the red Protoss puCK. Alright, so for puCK, that was not a bad game per se, but it was still a loss at the end of the day, and that kind of sucks for him. This is a player who I especially know seems to get beat up when it comes down to losses. Like one loss early on can affect him a lot more than others. But I think, and I really truly think that like he has, since he announced going quote unquote like casual and focusing on streaming more than playing, I don't know if that's just taking the edge off or what the deal is, but he doesn't seem to be as bothered by these things anymore. I do know that like if you watch his stream, guys, like he goes on tilt just like anybody else. But I'm hoping that with this more casual attitude and this approach to focus on things as a streamer rather than a player, a game 1 loss doesn't mean anything to puCK like it did a while ago. Either way, Violet, I know, just kind of being a little bit silly outside the game, jumping around for joy, perhaps having that first win. I don't know, but 1 game down, another to go. Dehumanizer 187 in chat says, BaseTradeTV, how did Rifkin and Zombiger meet? Like, how did you two become BaseTrade, if you don't mind me asking? I've never heard how. It's not a super interesting story. It's actually pretty much, this story is perfect for our level of awkwardness. So when I was a caster, small time cat, we just made BaseTradeTV. Like, our viewer average is like maybe 10 to 15 viewers, right? Super hype. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. I was messaging a ton of people. I was messaging In Control asking, can I pay for like casting coaching? I was messaging Axel Toss, can you teach me senpai what to do? So forth and so forth. And even the little casters at the time. Zambria was casting like the underrated team league or something, URTL. And she never responded to my first message. Feels bad, man, guys. Feels bad. Feels so fucking bad. Turns out it's just because she never checked her messages. Anyways, fast forward to, let's say like 6-7 months later, we had finally got partnered on the channel. We were doing like Zotac monthlies because Caldor stopped showing up to them, so we got to cast those. Good times. And I messaged Zombie Grub, hey, I know you said no the first time, or you didn't reply the first time, but would you consider casting with me? So she did. And for whatever weird reason, our fans at the time, again, our audience had probably grown from like 15 to like maybe 500 at this point. We did like actually I remember the day we got partnered, we had 5,500 people tune in. This is for somebody who averaged 500 viewers on a cast. That was fucking insane! Anyways, so yeah, I asked Zombie to join. She did, and I think she didn't really like me at the time. And I actually kind of enjoyed casting with her. There's a couple hiccups here and there, and I gave her some feedback, which I don't think she much cared for, but whatever. Point is, people kept asking, we kept casting, and I don't know, it just worked. It was nice, and there's your story of Rifkin and Zombie Grub. Super amazing. Super amazeballs. What? You guys think my Goblin impression is cringy? That's not okay. I'm gonna ban anyone who doesn't like my Goblin impression, okay? Because I super duper worked on that. It's almost as good as my my troll impression. Are you ready for this? 1 word, I'm gonna sound like a Warcraft troll more than any other impression you've ever heard. You ready? Tazdingo. Actually, I sound like a Mexican. Like, oh, okay, I take that back. That was like so far from Jamaican. Hey, what's up, gringo? Tazdingo. I loved Warcraft 3. It was a very fun game to play. That and StarCraft Brood War custom games. Between the Warcraft 3 custom games and the StarCraft Brood War custom games, that was literally my childhood growing up. Sunken Defense for life. Can I get a 1 in chat if you ever played Sunken D? And can I get a 2 in chat if you ever played Skibby's Tower Defense in Warcraft 3? And can I get a hell yeah if you played both of those games? I love those games, man. Anyways, esports came way later. I guess we're doing like kind of a Life of Rifkin here instead of the intros. Fast forwarding past Zombie Groups thing, like literally BaseTradeTV, a little bit beforehand was Zeke TV. And that was like my first intro to esports. I had never knew about Brood War Legends at the time. I never knew about much for StarCraft 2, either during Wings of Liberty. I found out about esports way later. Didn't even know it was a thing. And now, unfortunately, my life is consumed by it. Ugh. Overlord Scott, the man, gonna get picked off. Unfortunately, Violet didn't get to see too much, but right now he's a little bit concerned back at home. Roach weren't finished up really early. He's got more than enough to take on these adepts. The problem is trying to catch them. That's why he split his Roaches up, because he didn't know whether they go through the transfer or come down here to the south. See, the frustrating thing is if he cancels, as he just did, Violet still can't mine. If he goes through the transfer, but he stayed over here, then he kills all the drones in the natural. Well-controlled adepts are some of the most frustrating things to deal with, but what's cool is watching Violet's reaction to this. It's very costly for him to keep pulling off a mining like this, and it's certainly frustrating not being able to catch the adepts, but he's playing it cool, and he's not making mistakes, leaving openings for puCK to take advantage of. Meanwhile, third base gets finished up, and I guess puCK's actually going to dedicate to this. I was wondering if he was going to stop probe production to make this more of like a backup third in case an attack failed, but nope. Robo's only just now finishing up, doesn't have the Warp Prism fast enough to really dedicate to much. And I do imagine it'll be a Warp Prism. He might go for Immortals if he's like, oh, that's too many Roaches for me to deal with, but puCK and a Warp Prism combined with his control of micro is just like one of the scariest things you can deal with. The pickup drop, the saves. Yeah, he goes for the Warp Prism first. I like this. I don't think this is even something limited to puCK. It's just a good Protoss thing to do, but uh-oh. He wasn't paying attention for a second, so a false surround comes in. Nuabel hits us up with 31 stim packs. Thank you so much. The Adepts running for their lives, wishing they had a stim pack. He actually goes across the map. This is so clever. If he pulled the Adepts towards his base, Violet would have kept pushing the assault. But because puCK split his forces and came down here, he pulls Violet all the way back home with Adepts that would have otherwise been lost. He still may lose these Adepts, but he has completely stopped Violet's attack as Violet has completely come back home to stop these Adepts from getting any drone kills. I don't know if puCK can really do much more than this, but he bought himself some time, which was really nice. Something I don't think a lot of other Protoss players could have done in this situation. It was a bold choice to make, but it was the right one for this scenario. Now the Warp Prism might still go over this way, warp in some Adepts, maybe get some damage done. Hell, he might even warp into Templar, do like Archons, but man, this is still a big army coming out of Violet in the middle of the map. I'm not sure why there was 2 probes there. Your Goblin impression is as bad as your Troll impression. Can we please get a ban on this guy? A lifetime ban. This is ridiculous. 3 Adepts in that Warp Prism. He's trying to buy time back at home. I think he's hoping that Violet won't be looking at his mineral lines while he's busy pressing the attack. And that's kind of the case. He just pulls away and hopes that'll be enough. puCK also manages to warp in some of the Adepts, but unfortunately back at home, I don't know if his defense is going to be good enough. Warp Prism, or sorry, the Mothership Core goes down, so no more overcharges. The Adepts are fighting on the ramp the best they can, but without that Immortal damage, busting through these Roaches is a little out of the question. The funny thing is, the one Immortal, it can help in small little engagements like this, but he needs more than that, and I think Violet's got this. Other side of the map, it's not a bunch of drones that are dying, it's probes that are still going down. Violet has only lost 4 drones this game. Now puCK loses that third, and this is losing control of the game. Mothership Core comes out only to overcharge and die again immediately. And, yeah, that Immortal goes down. The last few units starting to fall. I think puCK's going to go out right here, and the loses bracket is something he's going to have to become well acquainted with. New Immortal spawns, but it spawns behind the army. GG gets called, and Violet will move on to the semifinals. Congratulations to him. Again, there's a lot on this. Violet needs to qualify through. He needs a chance to earn points in Korea for the KeSPA Cup. Plus, I'm sure he would love just the opportunity to go home. Also, sweet upset on the other side of the bracket. I say upset, but, you know, it's just me. Scarlet beats Masa 2-0. Scarlet, who has conventionally lost to Masa in every qualifier we've cast her in for IEMs and DreamHacks alike and everything. That's really awesome to see. So Scarlet's going to be in the semifinals over there. What I'm going to do is we're going to go to commercial break, and you guys can pick who we cast, because I think both semifinals will play out at the same time. So we're going to have either Violet versus Major or True, and Scarlet versus either Neeb or Bales, most likely. So we'll go to a break, and when we come back, we'll figure out what we're doing. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to hit up that straw poll.